Part 11, Shrouded in Darkness. Ooh, pretty. Deep in the shadow mines, water droplets fall from stalactites, each one striking the stone with a crisp, echoing note. Here, a mother who has lost her child walks with a live who cannot find her commandant. Together, they feel their way through the encompassing dark. How do you know? Ising is down here. Muno lets out a soft sigh. Every afternoon, I go to the medical station. I calculated the route perfectly. If I walk past Ising's house around 2:30, I can usually see her playing in the yard. It gives me a chance to say hello, to check on her. But this afternoon, when I passed by the house, I didn't see Ising around. I even went to her parents' workplace. Nothing. The patrol soldiers at the conservation area's entrance said they saw Ising and her foster parents leave early this morning, headed toward the mine. I was worried, so I followed their trail, all the way here, until I ran into you. A sensible route, a coherent explanation. At least for now, there's nothing suspicious about her story. Liv lowers her gaze, carefully venturing her next question. On your way in, did you run into any trouble? A few minor issues, but the real problem was a cave-in, I think. Not long after I entered, there was a sound, a deep rumble. It could have been an explosion, or just a mountain settling. I don't know these tunnels well, so I can't be sure. But the result was the same. Several paths were blocked. I've been having to find my way around them. Could you show me where the cave-in happened? Of course. Luna motions for Liv to follow her and heads toward one of the tunnel junctions. Ising? Can you hear me? Please answer me. She continues to call Ising's name softly, her voice refusing to give up. Ising? Is she the infant you saved? Yes, she is. Luna's voice, a hushed and sorrowful melody, leads through the mine tunnels. When I found her, she was so small, just a baby. According to the records in my database, all humans should have a name. I thought about giving her mine, but when I learned what Muno meant, it didn't feel right for a baby. So I searched through every book and file we had access to, until I found it. Isling. With her tongue pressed to the roof of her mouth, Muno coaxes the sound into being. In the dim mine light, her expression softens, as if the name itself is a gentle warmth against the darkness. She is a vision, a dream, and a redemption. Muno comes to a halt before a branch tunnel that has clearly collapsed in long ago. Wait here. This is the place. She points to the buried entrance of a tunnel branch on the other side. I was going to search this area, but there was a small cave-in just as I reached this platform. I had to find my way around. Do you think Ising could be behind you there? She furrows her brow, desperate for a definitive answer. I'm not sure, but Ising should be with commandant. And the previous illusion truly began with a tremor, as she speculated. As they clear the tunnel entrance, a cloud of dust billows around them. Liv narrows her eyes, her fingers blindly searching the rock wall. Yes, this is it. Until they catch on to a familiar triangular pattern. Commandant? Are you there? She leans into the crevice, her voice a hushed call. But the way is barred by massive boulders. The ceiling has collapsed completely. Through the narrow gap, only the faintest echoes can be heard. They must have moved deeper inside. She recalls the rodent squad safe zone, set deeper in the shaft. With communications dead and the access sealed by the tremor, commandant's priority will be to get the child to safety. That camp is the only logical destination. Should we try to clear all these rocks? Luna's already at work, her hands clawing at the rubble. Here, let me. With a sharp gesture, Liv signals Muno back. In one fluid motion, she draws her lotus wheel and unleashes its power. Ugh. A concussive blast fills the tunnel. Debris flies, forcing Muno to shield her eyes and take a step back. As the dust churns, she squints to see the jagged boulders disintegrate, fracturing into a cascade of tumbling stone. Wow. It's nothing, really. Let's just keep going. We need to find them. The recent tremor has left the mine shaft in ruins. Several branch tunnels, once accessible, are now completely sealed by colossal walls of rock. The one piece of good news is that Commandant and Ising are not trapped behind any of these new barricades. A wave of relief washes over Liv as her fingers trace the fresh scratches scored into the rock wall. A recent sign, a thread of hope. Aislinn, can you hear me? Please, answer. Widow continues to call out softly. Aislinn? Aislinn? Suddenly, her tone shifts. The gentle call sharpened into a gaslit urgency. She lunges forward, stooping to snatch something from the ground. A shoe? Her visual feed is still blurred. With systems parse the silhouette instantly. I made these for Aislinn. She must be just ahead. Cradled in Widow's palm is a tiny shoe, sized for a child no older than 8. I'd recognize it anywhere. This is her shoe. I made all of her shoes myself. I know I can't be her mother, but I always try to do what I can for her. After all, in a way, I'm the one who brought her into this world. I'm not gonna lie, she is a good actress. Obviously, she's very, a good actress. Very sus. Widow gently closes her eyes, as if lost in a precious memory. After I first woke up, I was just wandering through the mines, aimless, and almost decided to leave when I heard it, the cry of a baby. I found her right at the mine entrance. She was so tiny, so delicate, as beautiful as a dream. She was wrapped in a rough little robe, her feet bare, so I gathered what I could find right here in the mine, and made her a pair of shoes. Then I carried her, all the way to Conservation Area 368. Okay, flashback. Widow stepped into the crude conservation area. The infant, a small, worn weight, against her chest. She kept her hands tucked beneath the sleeves, hiding her mechanical skeleton from view. Ugh, another woman with a kid. Middle-aged man guarding the entrance spot a glob of phlegm onto the ground. Where did you crawl in from? The mine. Tss, fantastic. Another damn refugee. Oh my god, what an ass. Oh, the man's face was etched with impatience. Listen up. Food's scarce anywhere these days. The conservation area tosses a tiny extra scrap for the kid. That's it. For everything else, you're on your own. Oof. I understand. Whatever. Here's your tag. Now get inside. Yeah, you don't have to be so grumpy. I mean, I guess it's understandable considering the circumstances, but man, can you not be, dragging on to other people, please? His gaze, a calculated blend of indifference and scrutiny, dropped to the bundle in her arms. His brow furrowed, and he tossed an identification tag at Muno. If you can't keep that thing alive, let me know. Oh my god, it's not even a thing, dude! I'll do my best. As a mechanoid, she had no need for food, water, or the fragile company of humans. Yet for Ising, she would root herself in Conservation Area 368. And so, she stayed. As time went on, the family that took her in wasn't particularly kind. A child's shoes would wear out so quickly, and eventually, they stopped replacing them altogether. They started making regular trips through the mining area to gather materials from the forest beyond. I made shoes for the children in the conservation area. And I made these especially for her. The fraying upper, its cotton stuffing peeking through, is reinforced by an extra layer of tough leather. She has a slight tilt in her step, always favoring this side, so with every pair I made, I added an extra piece of leather right here. You love her very deeply. Yes, if such a feeling can be defined as love within human social relationships. Then, why did you let another family raise her instead? Winnow presses her lips together, falling silent for a moment. Because I realized I don't know how to give her the kind of love that humans needed. A mechanic couldn't offer no human warmth, no mother's intuition to balance the delicate sustenance an infant needs to thrive. I am not a nanny model. I've been disconnected from the network since the punishing virus outbreak. All I had to guide me was my original programming and a few dictionaries stored in my database. The infant's emotions are so pure, so simple. Once, when she was wailing for hunger, I felt so helpless. I tried to devour that hunger emotion from her, but then, she lost her ability to cry for food. For an infant, this is nothing short of a catastrophe. That night was a fury of rain, a torrential downpour that hammered the conservation area's crude metal roofing into a wood. Beneath the din, Willow stumbled to the residence door and beat her fist against its metal. Please, I'm so sorry to bother you this late. Just spit it out. The man who answered frowned, his eyes darting past him. It's Icing. Nothing's wrong. She was still crying. She's burning up. I don't know what to do. Without another word, he grabbed a raincoat and followed her back into the luge. I knew it. You found that child, didn't you? You clearly don't have a clue to how to take care of a baby. You look like some runaway from a fancy house. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Inside Muna's quarters, the man dried his hands on his shirt before gently pressing his palm to Ising's brow. It's a fever. I only got adult pills, but we'll have to make it work. From his pocket, he produced a single pill. He broke it, like a mere fragment, crushed it to powder. Dissolving it in a cup of water, he carefully tipped the solution into the infant's mouth. The medicine worked quickly. Ising's frantic cries softened into quiet, even breaths of sleep. Did I almost kill her? The middle-aged man went a heavy sigh. Ising. Oh, Ising. What am I gonna do? Widow looked helplessly at the infant in the makeshift cradle. This is just so sad. Oh my goodness. Widow's quiet sobs filled the space between them. Finally, after a long and palpable hesitation, the middle-aged man spoke, his voice low and measured. There's a couple living behind the conservation area. 3 days ago, their kid didn't make it in the last hydro creature attack. That's 8 years old. They shut themselves in it for a whole day after. If you're willing, you can let them raise her. At least they know what they're doing. In the distance, thunder roared deafeningly. If you decide, you know where to find me. After all, I was alive. After that, I let that couple in the conservation area take her in. I never told them I named her Ising. The psychological data in my database suggested that allowing them to name her would foster a stronger parental bond. But the outcome was clearly not what I had expected. I know she's a boss, but I really want to know the reason why. Because she seemed really nice, like, that she do care about children. So, it seems human psychology cannot be so easily defined by textbooks alone. Shoving the obstructing stones aside, Widow shakes her head. When I handed Ising over, I sensed their emotional state. It wasn't pure joy they were feeling. There was something else layered within it, something strange. Initially, I attributed their numbing to the grief of losing their own child, but now I realize perhaps they were simply excited about this exploration allowance. Liv furrows her brow, her mind silently cataloging the inconsistencies in Luna's story. If the memory fragments in her mind are still reliable, there are at least 2 glaring discrepancies between this Luna's account and the one given by the Luna from the conservation area. First, the discovery of Ising. The Luna in the conservation area claimed she found the infant years ago while returning to the mine for supplies. Now, it has shifted to while escaping from the mine. Second, the death of the adopted family's own child. The original story was a tragic accident, a fall into a mine shaft. Now, it has become a death by hetero creature attack. The cause of death could, perhaps, be chalked up to the fog of memory, but Ising's age. Chaos floods her mind. A familiar, drumming undercurrent of pain surges up, forcing her to abandon that trail of thought entirely. Swallowing her doubts, we finally ask, her voice soft. If you find Ising, will you try to find another family for her? Within the illusion she shattered, Luna insisted that she wanted to live in a commandant to take care of Ising. Huh? No, of course not. Luna lets out a soft, hollow chuckle. I don't trust humans anymore. I never will again. Ising stays with me. Luna's answer is completely different from what she said in the previous illusion. If humans won't care for her properly, then I will. I'll give her everything. Anything she could ever want. As long as she desires it, and I can get it for her. I won't let Ising be hurt ever again. Winnow speaks with unwavering determination. 10. In the oppressive darkness of the mind, let's calm eyes find Winnow sitting across from her. How old is Ising? This year. As if receiving a single. No, the spider places his legs upon the web it has woven. In response, other creatures begin to quietly crawl from the mind's depths. Why do you ask? She's only 7 now. Not quite 8 yet. Winnow looks at Liv, her expression one of confusion. But you just said you found Rising right after you woke up. The lip quivers, transmitting an unknowable signal. That must have been more than 8 years ago, right? It must be my memory chip. There have been some errors lately. Commandant? For now, Liv sets her doubts about Winnow aside. Lifting her terminal, Hickory answers the incoming call. Liv! Commandant! Where are you right now? Safe zone. Hetero creatures. Hetero creatures? The terminal's projecting shows the commandant and the child running together as if fleeing. Can you share your location, Winnie? I'll try. Be careful. The commandant in the projection halts. A sudden pause in a frantic run. The figure appears injured, face stained with blood. Commandant, are you alright? Right. Them. The commandant's transmission is a ghost in the device, a voice perpetually fading in and out. Drawn by a sea of static, just lives on me. Jeez, we're bleeding already? My goodness. Commandant, don't worry. I will find you. Marks. Immediately. Well, I guess it should be used to this because not the way with Commandant, us, we kind of bleed almost every single chapter. So, like, I just want a chapter where we don't, or not wounded at all. Like, come on. I'm on my way. We'll meet soon. The transmission cuts off without warning. What happened? Is she with your commandant? They're together, but commandant seems injured. Liv's brow furrows in concentration as she repeatedly calibrates her terminal, hunting for a lock on a commandant signal. On a rough map, the green dot representing the commandant's terminal flashes. Just for an instant, it vanishes. That brief flicker is all the confirmation Liv needs. He's on the right track. They're trying to find a way out. I must find the commandant as fast as possible. Liv stows her terminal and strides forward. Winnow follows her anxiously in her wake. The question of Ising's actual age no longer comes up.